Good morning, everybody. I thought I'd start with a music video or warm us up with a music video by Luther Vandross, who would have been 70 today. So really great music. I think it always gets you in the mood. So now let's hear some words from Tony Robbins.
Most people, half of what they thought today is the same things they thought yesterday about themselves, about their life, about their business. That's why most people's lives don't change very much. But if you wake up and you start realizing, I'm living in a home, an emotional home I don't want, you can change it. See, because everybody's got it. If you got $1 billion, check this out. If you had $1 billion, but the habitual emotions you go back to are frustrated, pissed off, then your life is called frustrated, pissed off. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Write this down, please. The quality of my life is the quality of my habitual emotions. The quality of my entire life is nothing but the quality of my habitual emotions. Whatever habits of emotion, wherever my emotional home is, I will find a way to get back there. And until I change that, I'm gonna have a problem. How many of you see people in some part of the world, in my country, for example, you'll see this in the middle of America where there's certain places that have cyclones all the time. Or maybe down in New Orleans or places where every few years you get a huge storm that wipes out everybody right on the coast there. But then 2 years later, it happens again. They rebuild, it happens again. How many of you ever thought to yourself, why don't these people move? Why don't they move, guys? Because it's what they're conditioned. They call that home. I don't want to leave my home. It's what I know. It's easy to see when it's somebody else and it's physical. It's harder to see when it's yourself and it's emotional. If you have an emotional home, some of you grew up in a really tough environment. I did too. Pretty brutal environment. Very painful environment. Part of I am who I am is because I didn't want to suffer. I had to find answers. And because I suffered so much, I don't want you to ever suffer if I can do anything about it. I can't control it, but I can help massively. But it's only because I suffered so much I don't want anybody else to. But think about it. Most people suffer even when they're successful. Listen, if you're successful and you're not fulfilled, that's the ultimate failure. If you got people that love you and you're not feeling joyous and alive, something's wrong. And you know what it is? You got an old home you're used to. Maybe the home you're used to is not a very happy home. It's a home of worry, a home of frustration, a home of anger, a home of feeling everything is unjust. And so you find a way to get back home using whatever the environment you can use. How many of you know somebody who's always pissed off about something? How many of you know somebody who is always worried? How many of you know someone who's not really funny, but they think they are? And they crack themselves up telling stupid jokes? How many know someone like this who cracks themselves up and they laugh so much that even though it's not funny, you find yourself laughing too? These people have different emotional homes. Some people's home is anger. They'll always find something to be angry about. It's what they're used to. It's their conditioning. So even when the storm comes and messes up their life, they go right back to that same shit. Wouldn't it be nice to upgrade your home, your emotional home where you live? What if you could live every day with a vast majority of the emotions you had were joy and gratitude and love and appreciation, even in the middle of COVID, even when somebody does something unjust, compassion, playfulness? What would that feel like if you were in those states every day, 95% of the time when you weren't, you got out of it quick? You can make that change this weekend, and I'm not exaggerating an ounce. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect and never have a negative feeling, because negative feelings are sometimes a signal to make us change. But most people have a negative feeling and they just hang on to it and keep living with it and find other things to be negative about. That will never give you what you want. The money won't do it. The acknowledgement of others won't do it. Everything you think will do it will not do it. Only one thing will do it. You drawing a line in the sand and making the most important decision of your life that you're going to live in a beautiful state no matter what. Because life is too short to suffer. We have a choice. Listen to me. Pain is sometimes part of life, but suffering is a choice. But for most of us, not a choice, because we have the habit of suffering, being stressed, being worried, being frustrated, being pissed off. And because we're wired that way, that's the muscle we built. But if we rebuild our home here so it's even more magnificent, then you can have the life that you desire and deserve. And you do it one weekend only if you give your all and push enough energy out while you're doing it all your life. Who's up for this here? So who's up for enhancing your home massively? Say aye. Say aye.
All right. Words from Tony Robbins to get us pumped up this morning. You know, it's funny that Tony says that people go back after their homes are wiped out. And it's funny because I remember George Carlin in one of his, you know, one of his comedic shows on HBO. One time he goes, I don't get it. Why these people keep moving back to the Midwest where these storms wipe out their homes, and every year they just come back and rebuild and rebuild. And you know, he's right. It's because it's their home, and you know, they probably, you know, I mean, that's home and whatever. I mean, that's a different reason. But what he's talking about is, you know, you can choose to be gloomy and bummed out all day, or you can choose to be positive and energetic. And I choose the latter. And I'll tell you, people will be attracted to that. People will be attracted to your energy. If you've got good energy and you're smiling, you know, people are attracted to that. It's good for the soul. You know, a lot of times you guys come to me and you go, hey, Benny, how did you get that listing? Or Benny, how did you do this? Well, I'll tell you right now, this morning I listed my friend's house. And the way I met him was there's a restaurant across the street from the Bellflower office called Frank's. And me and my other buddy, Juan, would go and hang out there, you know, once or twice a week after work and throw back a couple beers at the bar. But we're always in suit and tie. And so Mark sees us for the first time and turns to him and goes, hey, what do you do for a living? And my buddy says, what are you, the FBI? So anyways, the guy goes, whoa, what's going on here? And he goes, no, I'm being honest with you. What do you really do for a living? So my buddy looks at him again and says, we're grave diggers. He goes, well, you guys are the best looking or best dressed grave diggers I've ever met. But anyways, it started a conversation, and then it led to, where do you live? And I live in Downey, and oh, whereabouts? And here's where I live. And next thing you know, we're good friends, best of friends, and hanging out. And then I don't know, maybe it's been a couple of years, but today I listed his house. And probably later this month, I'll list his kid's house. And then they're going to buy another house in Seal Beach. And then after they buy that house in Seal Beach, I'll list their other home in Downey. So 4 sides from being at a bar drinking. Doesn't mean that you have to be there drinking, but 4 sides just by talking to somebody, being dressed professional. You know, he was intrigued. What do you guys do for a living? You know, and my buddy, being the prankster that he is, what are you, the FBI? And whatever. Just, you know, so good energy, good vibes, being funny. What did Tony say? You know, the guy that has stupid jokes but laughs so hard at his stupid jokes because he thinks he's funny, eventually you laugh with him, right? So good energy, positive outlook attracts the same, and it will lead you to many places. And I don't know if I told you guys, I went to Sacramento last weekend or 2 weekends ago to accompany my buddy to take his broker's test. And when we went to Target, I thought to myself, man, I walked past the Dr. Seuss the Places You'll Go book so many times, and I've never bought it. So I finally bought it. And it's a quick read. You guys could probably read it in 2 minutes, but it's just a book about the ups and downs of life and maintaining a positive outlook and knowing that in the end you will succeed if you keep at it. So, all right. I'm sorry I didn't change the quote from last week. Maybe there's a reason behind that. Teddy Roosevelt, far and away the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. And I shared with you guys last week, this is the work worth doing. You know, it's funny, my friend Mark, not to stay on the subject so much, but his wife is Japanese, and in Japan, I don't know how common this is. It's pretty common but I don't know what percentage of the people there adopt this, but they're actually going to move in together. So his daughter got married and had a kid recently, and now they're going to sell all their homes and move in together. You know, I don't know how that's going to work out, but in Japan apparently it works, and apparently he will have to take a step back from being the male dominant figure in the home and allow his son-in-law to now make the decisions of the home, and that's part of it. And it's crazy. My friend Mark was born here and met his wife in LA on an exchange student program, and he was so intrigued by the Japanese culture that he learned how to speak Japanese. And you guys will see in a few seconds here their home, which went on the market today. It's got a couple things that Japanese homes have. That's kind of neat. You know, he made his wife. She was from Japan and lived in Japan her whole life. Only moved here because they met on that exchange program, and he proposed to her after she was going to leave. And you know, since she ended up living here with him, he kind of modeled his home after a Japanese home to make her comfortable. So, anyways, let's make a deal. Who's got a new buyer or a new listing that you'd like to talk about? And if we don't have anybody volunteer,
Okay, I have this is Bernadette. I have two buyers.
uh-huh.
They're looking for a condo, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and
Okay.
price range is about between 500 to 600,000
What
in
what
Saudi.
what city?
Garden Grove, Stanton, and other, um, and Lakewood.
Got it. If they're interested in a nice part of Santa Ana, message me later. I have a listing coming there at the end of the month. Two bedroom, 2 bath, really nice, really spacious condo, and it's the only unit in the whole complex with a huge backyard. So, and I think it's in your price range. So, message me later, and I'll give you that information.
And then I have another buyer that is looking in the Anaheim Garden Grove area,
Uh-huh.
and it's a between 1 to 2 bedroom condo too,
Okay.
and the price range is up to 420.
Got it. Okay. Well, hey everybody, if anybody has a listing coming up, if you don't have a listing, how about saying, hey, we've got buyers that are looking for the following condos in these areas. Have you thought about selling? I mean, you know, run with it. I don't know if you guys remember this story, but they had two salesmen go to a remote place somewhere in Africa, and they were shoe salesmen. And the first guy lands like an hour before the second salesperson, and he goes, "Hey, boss, get me on the next plane out. These people don't wear shoes." And the second salesperson arrives, and he goes, "Hey, boss, send me the entire warehouse. These people haven't discovered shoes yet. I'm gonna have them all wear shoes by the end of the week." So you know what? You can either do with the information and create something, or you can take the information and not do anything with it. So anybody else, a listing or a buyer that you want to announce? Going once, going twice? No. Let me go to the MLS because I do believe we have two new listings. First of all, we have a coming soon from Christina Furneaux, who's on fire again. Remember she said, I think I'll never top my 6 deals in 1 month. And I told her, BS, I think you've got the rest of the year to definitely beat it. So she's got now here a 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 1,770 square feet in Long Beach, Rancho Estates. That's really close to us, asking $1,080,000 and beginning to show that on Thursday, the 22nd. So if you guys got a buyer, she only has 2 pictures up because she hasn't done photography yet. But this is one of those mid-century modern, architectural modern ones with the exposed beam probably and no ceiling. But these are very popular in these neighborhoods. So if you've got a buyer for this, please keep Christina in mind. And she's paying a 2.5% commission, which is great in this market. So please keep her in mind. Let's go to the next one. Elmfield, That's Eduardo Morales, still on the market, and you guys have seen that one last week. Here's my Glen. This is the 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I just listed it this morning. 1,376 square feet on a 6,500 square foot lot. Asking $649,999. Well, let me show you guys the video. All right. Real quick, guys. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,376 square feet in Downey. We're asking $649. Just wanted to mention that it has some unpermitted square footage. So there's actually 2 extra offices in the rear. I know that in the video they call them a 4th bedroom and then a 2nd living room, but it's actually 2 offices, which will come in handy right now with COVID and people working at home. The other thing, if you notice here, it has a Japanese Genkan formal entry. And the way that they describe this to me is when you come in off the street, the home is built on like another level. So there's just like this little square entry where you come in, and basically if you're not welcome or asked into the home, you don't go beyond that. The other thing, I don't know if you guys saw that master bathroom had a Japanese style ofuro tub. And what they do is they shower first. And after they shower, they dip in a hot tub for about 10-15 minutes. So it's built all together. So if you notice behind the shower door, it's a shower and then there's a bathtub right next to it. It's a little bit different. I don't know how many people will appreciate that or like that, but it's just something different on this property that they did to, make his wife more comfortable. And I believe, here's another one, Cornuda from Christina Fernot, still on the market. This is that property that I keep mentioning that would be great for a in-home health kind of a thing. So if you've got anybody looking for that, I don't think she's reduced the price on it, but you could be that price reduction. So if you have a buyer looking for something like this, go show it, and you never know, make a lower offer. Last but not least, hitting the market next Tuesday. And sorry, not that I'm promoting Redfin, but they're the only ones that had any pictures left on this. I'll have this property coming on the market, 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath. I'm guessing I probably are going to come in at like $499 on the asking price, but this is a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,000 square feet, and I could have swore it was built in 2015. I don't have all the details yet, but it will hit the market next Tuesday. And I would imagine that my clients have kept it pretty much in the same shape. I don't think they've really done too much to it, as it was already a newer home. So if you've got somebody looking in Palmdale, this will be hitting the market next Tuesday, like I said, and we'll be showing that Saturday. Also, with that home in Downey, in case you've got a buyer, next Saturday, the 24th, we'll be showing that from 12 to 4. So please come on by. Anybody else? Anybody got any other listings or buyers that you'd like to talk about? No? Okay. All right. Moving on. Congratulations to everybody. 13 escrows open currently. Congrats to Renee Nava, Don and Carrie again, Mo, Angie Sandoval, the Eduardo Morales team really kicking butt there with 4 escrows open. Christina Fernot and Angie Sandoval. So congrats to you all. And then we've got 11 closed escrows up. Give me 1 second. I need to let somebody in here. Okay. 11 escrows up from 5 as from last week. So congrats to the Morales team, Miguel Guzman, Angie Sandoval, Feng and Nancy, Cecilia Guthrie closing a really big one there. Congrats to you. Christine Bandy with 3 closings just out of nowhere. So congrats to her and her daughter, Erika, and Rosie Malgoza and Christina Fernot. Congrats to you all. Great work. Keep it up. You know, somebody was saying the other day that, you know, this market is very memorable to them, to 2007 when, you know, the market was hot, 2006, 2005. So, you know, to that I say, please take advantage of it. There's a lot of business out there. I got a phone call last night from someone saying that they're thinking about listing their home and buying another one, and that's probably the second call I've gotten in the last week and a half from my past clients. So trust me, people are thinking about making a move. If you don't talk to them and somebody else gets in front of them, you don't want to miss that opportunity. So please reach out to your clients right now. Let them know what the market's doing. I had a guy call me this morning on Downey Avenue, on the Downey property. And he goes, hey, I'm one of the neighbors. I want to buy a house for my daughter, but your price is too high. I was thinking of coming in around 600. And I go, actually, it's probably going to go closer to 7, sir. He goes, what? Why would anybody do that? Your client's asking for 650. Why won't he just take 650? I said, well, that's not the market we're in. You know, most properties are selling 30 to 50,000 over ask right now. So, you know, come and see it Saturday and good luck to you. So keep that in mind. We'll skip that. John Greer, are you there?
Good morning. I'm here.
Good morning.
Unmuted.
All right.
You know, Benny, I saw on your invitation to the meeting this morning, you're going to talk about failure.
Yes, sir.
You're going to talk about rejection.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit. Wow. Well, I got plenty I wanted to share with you guys.
There you go.
but first, let me. I wanted to get this out of the way. This is from CAR Newsline, and I take the bullet, read some of this stuff, and the big positive news. We can go positive for a minute, Benny. Is California median home price reaches new all-time high in March. So what that means, right, is that the whole state of California median price has gone the highest it's ever been. So fierce competition drove California's median home price to reach a new record high in March, while the state's housing market continued its momentum with sales remaining solid heading into the spring home buying season. According to CR's latest monthly sales and price report. California's statewide median price surged nearly 24%. 24% from a year ago, climbing 8.6% on a month-to-month basis. 758,990 in March, up from 699. That's over $50,000, and up 23.9% from 612,440 recorded last March. Now, is that amazing or what? I mean, if you're looking for any kind of ammunition for those fence sitters, there you go, man. I mean, that from 758 to 612 is just real quick is about $140,000 price increase from last year. So maybe that explains why we got so many buyers out there right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, that was crazy news. And I was thinking, Benny, about the failure part, and our business certainly has plenty of it. And I just I haven't been getting any listings out of my farm because there's hardly any listings to be had, and a couple of them come up, they're outside agents, maybe part of their family. I had one that I met the two daughters. The dad had passed away. He had taken over the home from his parents, the grandparents for these two girls. And they stopped me, they were there, and they told me their dad had passed away. They're going to be selling the house. They have to go through probate. And I talked to them for quite a while, and they go, we're going to give you a call as soon as a probate attorney gives us a green light. We'll be getting a hold of you. I told them about cosmetic repair. We have a great program for that. And next about a month and a half later, I go by, there's a sign up from some office in 323 area code. I'm thinking that the attorney probably talked him into listing with them. Man, I'm so down, and I wanted to kick the cat, but I didn't. And I'm teasing, but I just want, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. And I had another one, a referral from a probate attorney that I work with. And I was all set to go out and see him. And they called the day before and said, we're going to go with a family agent or a friend of the family. But thanks for everything and see you later. So, I mean, you guys have all had something like that, and you get real down. I mean, I used to get really down in the mud and waller around in there and complain and the routine. I'm sure we've all been there. Hate the world, So hey, it happens, and what it does now is it makes me want to work harder. And you know what? You got to get out there and get more pass outs going. Start cranking up your mail outs. Start knocking on some doors to meet that face that you've never met before. There's a lot of things you can do rather than spend your time in a negative area. But I did want to read this. Gino, does anybody know who Gino Bafari is?
Yes, sir.
You do. Is anybody else? Blafari? All right. Well, he's the CEO of Home Services of America. He was a realtor back in the day, but here's some stuff I picked up from him, which is really interesting, and it fits in, Benny, with your talking about failure. Is Thomas Edison, and I know there's a lot of stuff said about him, and if you've heard this already, I'll apologize, but Thomas Edison once famously said, "I didn't fail the test, I just found 100 ways to do it wrong," right? Between 1878 and 1880, Edison and his researchers tested approximately 3,000 designs for a light bulb, eventually filing a patent in November of 1879 for electric lamp and filament or strip coil. Anyway, still he hadn't reached the light at the end of the tunnel. A few months after the patent was filed, his team discovered that carbonized bamboo filament could last more than 1,200 hours. That discovery sparked the beginning of commercially manufactured light bulbs. 100 ways to do it wrong is what. And then I thought, you know what Gino was talking about is when he was getting started. So I'm going to cut into this. Eventually I got a sale and my self-image changed. As a sales professional, how you perform is how you see yourself. It's why you have to work harder on yourself than you do on the job. When I finally sold my first house, I went on to sell 52 more homes over the next 12 months. One thing that kept me going was well, they have this written wrong, was a set of affirmations I learned in that first year of my career from my very first sales trainer, Tommy Hopkins. And I know a few of you probably heard of him. A lot of you haven't, but that would have been my mentor. He was a big farmer. He kind of started farming, going door to door. So here's these affirmations. I am not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed, and the number of times I succeed in a direct proportion to the number of times I can fail and keep trying. All right, that's a good one. Number 2, I never take rejection personally. I'm first and foremost in the people business. I realize that they can only reject my proposal, not me. I keep on keeping on. 3, I never see failure as failure, but only as a game I must play and win. 4, I never see failure as failure, but only as a learning experience. And the last one, I never see failure as failure, but only as an opportunity to perfect my techniques and practice my presentation. Good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, success and setbacks are one and the same. To accomplish your goals, you must fail. Otherwise, how can you know what it even means to succeed? So, you know, rejection, I recommend you try that for lunch and chew on that a little bit, because we're dealing with it all the time, and you got to get past it and stuff. So, Benny, that I wanted to turn it back to you, and I wanted, before I did that, I wanted to congratulate everybody on the sales, the pendings, the close.
Yes.
We've really been doing great, and I appreciate all you guys. So I'll throw it back to you, Benny.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, John. Thanks for sharing that. Do we have Mr. Money?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I'll get started with the rates. Rates are pretty much unchanged from last week. You're looking at about 2.75 on FHA and VA. On a conventional conforming loan amount, you're looking at about 2.875, and on a conventional high balance, you're looking at about 3.0. First thing I wanted to start off with was just kind of some things I'm seeing in the market, or with buyers that I'm currently working with. I'm seeing a lot of buyers using their tax refund for their down payment. It's a great time of the year for that. A lot of people are filing their taxes right now. I'm getting some pretty large tax refunds, and it's making the difference between a client maybe needing to use down payment assistance versus being able to come up with their own down payment and writing more competitive offers. Definitely something that you guys can promote out there. We have some flyers that kind of highlight using your tax refund for a down payment. Also kind of brings me back to a previous point I've made in other meetings, is networking with your tax preparer. There's a ton of business that these individuals are able to refer out to us. Just yesterday, I was on a phone call with Eduardo and his tax preparer, and we were discussing one of their mutual clients and helping them with some financing. So a lot of business out there, definitely, in my opinion, kind of an untapped market. Another thing I wanted to share is highlighting non-QM mortgages again. Just had another success story with non-QM. It was a condo. It was in downtown Long Beach. It was 2 condo units that were combined to make one unit. They hadn't combined the APN numbers, so there were still 2 APN numbers for the individual condo units. This was not financeable using Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac conventional mortgage. For that reason, the property was sitting on the market. It had been on the market for about 90 days. The buyer was pretty much able to choose their terms, within reason. And the listing agent and seller were happy to find somebody that was able to finance this property, happy to find somebody that was interested in purchasing it. The non-QM mortgage, of course, it came with a slightly higher interest rate than you would see like on your standard conventional mortgage, but the property was such a good fit for the client. She really loved the property. So she was, more than happy to pay. The rate was probably about 2% higher than your standard conventional mortgage, but she was more than happy to pay that just to be able to finance this property and be able to buy that home. So if you guys are running across scenarios, maybe it's a difficult property to finance for whatever reason, or maybe it's something regarding the client's personal finances that's making it difficult for them to get, your standard FHA or conventional mortgage. Definitely run this scenario by me. We might have a non-QM mortgage that might be a good fit for them. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is promoting down payment assistance programs, or just loan programs in general designed for people of a certain profession. One program in particular is the Golden State Finance Authority. Their program is called Platinum Select, and it's a grant. The money is forgiven on day one. It's actually never owed, right? It's a grant, and that's for firefighters, police officers, teachers, people in the medical profession. It's a great program, definitely something that I'd recommend promoting. I was actually on a call with a client yesterday that was interested in a program called iPath. She mentioned it was for teachers. I had never heard of the program, but while I was on the phone with her, I was Googling the program and noticed it was from a company called Mountain West, the mortgage company that I've heard of before. And I was reading about that program, and really it was funny because there was nothing specific about that program that another mortgage lender wouldn't be able to offer. Some of the benefits, for instance, was they were guaranteeing a 21-day close, but a lot of lenders are able to do that. Another thing that they were offering was a 3% down conventional mortgage with lender paid mortgage insurance. Again, all lenders can offer that. So they were pretty much packaging a loan program, offering certain benefits that, in my opinion, weren't very advantageous, but labeling it as a program designed for teachers. And clearly it was successful because people are inquiring about it. So it just goes to show you that people are interested in programs that, have additional benefits that are maybe specific to them in the profession that they're in, and can definitely help you drum up some business. So if you guys would like to promote any of these programs, let me know. We'd be happy to help you with some flyers and materials. And that's what I got for you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for sharing. Christy Rye, are you on the call? Or Keegan Hoffman, one of the two.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Okay, so I want to share something with you.
Okay. Do you need me to stop
Okay,
sharing my screen?
No, that's
okay. Okay.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but we have been an underwritten title company for many years. What does that mean? It means that we collaborate with other title companies, and when we write a policy, you're going to be getting the policy from that title company. But we were the ones that underwrote it, but they are the ones that issue the policy. So we work in unison. So there's a lot of title companies that are underwritten, you guys. In fact, the only way to tell if a title company is underwritten is it will not say title insurance company. It will say title company. They can't put the word insurance in there. So when you're looking at business cards and stuff like that, just pay attention to whether or not it says insurance. The reason I bring this up is because most title companies that are underwritten by one title company. That means they've got one shot to get your deal through should there be some hoops to jump through. Benny, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so when we were, and I do use the word were, only underwritten, we had 4 to 5 underwriters at all times. Our owners are smart. Why would they do that? So that if they get turned down by one, next. If they get turned down by that one, next. Not only that, it made us very competitive in the market because we also had different rates to offer you, not just one. So I could say, Benny, you're short on cash here. I'm going to put it under this underwriter. Not only that, our underwriters loved us because we're the largest underwritten title company. We were the largest in California. We're now up there in the U.S. So then about 7 years ago, we started our own title company, title insurance company. We issue policies under Real Advantage Title Insurance Company. That's Orange Coast. So that means six now. I've got my underwriters that are different title companies, and I've got, we call it RATIC, like FATCO. There's acronyms, so we call it RATIC. Just so you know, Benny, Juan's deal,
Yes.
RATIC.
Okay.
So we're writing our own paper, and we have been for many years. So if you guys are hearing from title companies that are insurance companies, a lot of times they like to bring up, oh, but Orange Coast is, you don't want to work with an underwritten title company. I'm here to just get rid of that, you know what I mean? It's not true. And I have a deal that I needed a very open mind and a not a conservative opinion on a transaction that I was able to get approved and get through yesterday, because we had an individual that was unfortunately passing away of cancer. I knew this person, and before he passed, he needed to get his wife added to the property so that they wouldn't have a need of probate. Not only did I offer to prepare that document, which I did, I never got the thumbs up to do it, but I did it anyways just in case they needed it. But he had gotten it done by someone else. I think he has a friend that was an attorney. Got it signed, got it notarized, and they got it recorded. So now on paper, that looks like, and he died shortly thereafter, you guys. I think 10 days, if I'm not mistaken. So I was able to, of course, the title unit questioned the document, going, wait a minute, comparing it to his death certificate, going, whoa. Because oftentimes, guys, people that have cancer are on morphine. They're not cognitive. But being that I knew this person, my attorney actually from Orange Coast called me, our actual attorney, our head attorney, and said, tell me about this. So I told him the story. Well, you guys, wouldn't you know it, just not too long ago, he lost his father to cancer. And as I'm telling him that Juan was cognitive up until almost the day he died, my attorney said, Chris, stop. Have the wife sign, put in writing exactly what happened. Have her sign an affidavit, and I'm going to go with it. I will write off on that. So the wife came into my office yesterday, and I got to meet her and had her sign the document. And now we're going to be closing, and they are facing foreclosure. That's another thing. She's facing foreclosure. Her husband was the sole breadwinner. So it does really matter who you work with, guys. And anytime you're having an issue on a transaction, and guess what? They come up all the time. I've had people say before, Benny, yeah, but title, what do you guys do? You don't have issues pop up. Benny, just on our files alone in the last month.
Yes.
Have you not had to have someone, come in and say, hey, let's do it this way?
You guys remember I mentioned last meeting, it's not only me, but Christina Furneaux and somebody else in the office.
Tamara.
We were right at the end of escrow and no payoff, right, from the bank for whatever reason. On my specific one, they sold off the loan like 7 days before we were getting to the close of escrow. And so that payoff was nowhere to be found. And what did Christy Rye do? Her company agreed to hold back a little bit of equity and allow for it to close, subject to getting that payoff in after the close of escrow. And that's how she saved Christina Furneaux's deal. Can't remember who else's deal. Same thing, all within the last, I'd say, month and a half. And then now this one, I've been struggling, 2 attorneys on each side with 2 different sellers on the same property. They can't agree to the proceeds, the percentage. And then all of a sudden, what was it, Friday night, Jennifer emails us and says, hey, title's asking about the death certificate and the date from when he deeded off. It's kind of close. We need to make sure that he's of sound mind. And Chris says, hey, I think, let me talk to the attorney. Let's figure out what they say. But honestly, if it wasn't for that attorney at her title company and Chris calling him and you know, sharing that personal story, I think we'd be heading to probate
Yeah.
between you and me. So thank
And
you.
you know,
Thank
Benny,
you.
I always hear, thank you, but I always hear how you guys talk about tell personal stories
Yes.
in your business. I know they're really, you know, looking down on that right now, but people are still doing it. But personal stories do matter. They resonate, and it resonated with Mr. Birding. And I'm just very blessed to work for such an incredible company. I mean, every employee you talk to at Orange Coast Title, Benny, is so happy. And there's a reason why. And we love what we do, and we love the company we work for. And you guys, anytime you have a transaction, you're getting pushback from a title company, please make me your next call, because I can help you. I can help you push that through. I'm not saying give me the title, but I'll give you the verbiage of what to say to them to get them to get them to act. Okay, so that's it, Benny. Thank you for
Awesome.
the
Thank
time,
you.
guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your title orders. We really appreciate it.
And you guys remember what I said. You know, your affiliate is a part of your team. That doesn't mean that Chrissy Rye expects to have every single title from you. Sometimes you're representing the buyer. You have no control over that title. I'll tell you, I make Chris, don't feel bad about this, but all my buyer offers, I always put seller's choice of services,
Yeah,
right? Because I don't want to get a counter. I don't want to lose my opportunity because I chose something else. But hey, when I have a listing, it's always Christy Rise. But sometimes I call it, don't I call you and I say, hey, Chris, you didn't get the title on this because I'm the buyer's agent. But hey, can you help me on this? Can you review this?
absolutely.
And she's always there for me. So thank you for being a great affiliate and a great team player. We really appreciate you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again,
Thank you,
Chris.
Benny.
Thank you. Hey guys, so you know what? I'm looking at the time and we're like 10 minutes shy. I don't think I'll have enough time to really like cover all of this, but so instead, let me just share a little bit more, and then what we'll do is next week I'll go through this because it is about a 20-minute presentation. So but going back to you know, you guys asking me, hey, how did you get your listing or whatnot? The phone call I got last night, sorry, not last night, the one I just showed you guys in Lancaster, that property on Serenity, that'll be coming next Tuesday. Believe it or not, somebody asked me, they go, how did you get that? I go, you know what? Craigslist. So many years ago, I would run Craigslist ads offering people to buy a property with zero money out of pocket. And it was true. Joe Coy can attest to this. Back in the day, Cal HFA would do loans partnered up with FHA, and you would take a deposit from the buyer, let's say like $5,000, but at the close of escrow, you'd give it back to them. So it was amazing, and people really loved it. And you'd get a lot of phone calls because everybody was intrigued by a home with zero money down. Now, of course, I sold these people a home in Norwalk, okay, a couple years ago. Then a few years later, they called me and said, hey, you know what? Our family's relocating to Palmdale, Lancaster area. Can you come and list our home and then help us buy something over there? And I shared with Marjorie Tyson, I don't drive more than an hour anywhere. I'll go anywhere within an hour. But in this scenario, these clients, I had their listing. I had to find them an upleg, right? So with them, I did drive the extra 45 minutes, almost 2 hours to find them a place. And that's what I represented them on that house. Now, the other day, it's so funny. They asked me, hey, do you still work with New American Funding? Right? And I said, yeah, what's on your mind? You know, rates are really low right now. It's a great time to refinance. And they said to me, can we call you? And I go, you know what? I'm in the middle of a broker's class, but I will be done at noon. Call me then. So as soon as the class ended, I didn't wait for them to call me. I called them within a minute. And I go, hey, Sal, what's going on? And he goes, hey, Benny, when can you come up to the house? And I'm thinking, man, I got to drive 2 hours. So in my head, right, that's the first thing I thought. And I go, well, for what? What's up? He goes, when can you come up so we could sign all the paperwork and you could take pictures and list our home? And I go, you know what? It's so funny, Sal, but I've got a property hitting the market this Tuesday, and then Saturday I'm going to be showing it. So you'd be right. You'd be piggybacking on that. I could come up to you this Thursday, and do your photography and sign the contracts and everything. And I would have you on the market the following Tuesday. And then the following, what is it, May 1st or May 2nd, Saturday, we would hit the market then. And he goes, that works, man. Let's do it. So anyways, they're going to move down here and buy something in La Mirada in the $600,000 to $700,000 range, I would imagine, maybe a little bit higher. But it's just it all works, guys. Craigslist works. Let me give you another one. Last night, Alma Artiaga called me and says, hey, we're already approved for our loan now. We got approved to 790, and we've got another 150 in savings that we want to put down. And she goes, and we saw your listing in Downey, and we're not too crazy about it. It's a nice neighborhood, but we'd like something a little bit more modern. And she goes, and you mentioned La Palma, and we really love La Palma. We drove the neighborhood, and we really like it. So can you focus on La Palma for us? I said, yeah, sure. And she goes, okay, great. And then she says, so we'll sell Norwalk and then buy La Palma or whatever. Anyways, how did I meet them? Doing an open house in Downey. And you know what? I guarantee. Here's the funny thing. I remember exactly. I didn't make them sign in. I just was talking to them about the neighborhood and about the home, and then they left. And I didn't even get a phone number. But then Alma comes walking back to the house, walks in by herself, and her husband's in the car. And she goes, hey, could you email us like anything that you have coming up or anything in this neighborhood? Well, sure, absolutely. And I went ahead and did that and sold them their home. Here's the trip about that. That open house led to selling them that home in Norwalk. But then a few years later, Carlos calls me and says, hey, when I was a bachelor, I owned a condo in Montebello, and I'd like to sell that. So he hired me to sell that too. So it all works, guys. I want to point out that it all works. And for those of you asking me about open houses, don't repeat this, but people are doing open houses right now. The only thing that they're doing, though, is they print out a bunch of PEADVs, and they have a table set up out front. When somebody comes up, they go, hi, welcome. I just need you to fill out your name here and sign here, and then you can go in and see the house, right? And that's it. So if you want to find an excuse for not doing an open house now, then you can make up whatever you want. But if you want to do an open house now and you've got a listing where you could do it, I just gave you the answer. You just set up a table out front, print out a bunch of PEADVs, and have everybody that walks up sign and do that. Again, this Downey one, I'm doing the same thing Saturday, 12 to 4, and I guarantee you again, it'll be sold on that same day. So with that said, guys, I think we're done. We will continue this failure to succeed. We'll do that next week because we have run out of time. But while we're still on the call, anybody have any questions? Anything you want to say? One more thing. I've always told you guys that you don't need to know everything there is to know about real estate, as long as you have people around you that know about real estate, right? Who's that? That's John. That's me. That's Christy Rye. That's Stephanie Pagan. That's Jennifer at Castlehead Escrow. It's Joe Coy from New American Funding. You don't need to know everything. Here's the other thing. You don't even have to be available. One of our agents this last weekend called me and said, hey, I can't show property this weekend for XYZ reason. Do you recommend anybody that I can have show property for me? I said, yeah, give this person a call. Oh, they can't. Give this person a call. Oh, you know what? They're busy this weekend. Give this person a call. Yeah, they agreed to do it. So, hey guys, rely on your coworkers and on your team. Remember that I talk about your team, your affiliates, to get things done. You don't have to know everything, and you don't have to do everything. That doesn't mean that, I'm going to be lazy and not show property and go to the beach and have somebody else do it. But it just means if you have something else going on and you need help, reach out to me or John, and we'll point you in the right direction on where to go. And like I said, guys, this agent in our office, she found somebody, and they went out and showed property for her, and because she couldn't. She had a reason why she couldn't do that, something else going on. And look, it worked out for her. So with that said, guys, make it a great week. Thank you for being on the call. I hope you guys got something out of this meeting. And I promise you next week, we will definitely get into this topic of failing to succeed. I've got a lot of great information to share with you. And I look forward to seeing you all here back next Tuesday. Go out and make it a great weekend, or sorry, a great week. Where's my mind at? And we will see you soon, next week. Talk to you later. Adios, everybody.